apart from within. As the circular city teetered on the absolute brink of total military anarchy, a younger matriarch stepped out of the palace shadows to completely rewrite the balance of power. Queen Alem, an extraordinarily intelligent Abyssinian concubine queen who had borne a son to the late sultan, had watched the tragic isolation of Queen Sarafah and learned its forensic lesson. While the civilian vizier controlled the outer government bureaucracy, Queen Alem quietly used her administrative genius to secure direct physical custody of the keys to the inner palace vaults. She held the physical gold reserves of the empire. Bypassing the corrupt civil ministries entirely, Queen Alem opened the inner treasury and poured the state's wealth directly into the hands of a rising champion. In his chronicle, Umara al-Yamani introduces this savior of the realm explicitly as the Qaid Abu Muhammad Surur al-Fatiki. He was an Abyssinian of the tribe of Amhara. To understand why Surur al-Amhari was chosen is to understand the rare, dual trajectory of his youth under the late Sultan al-Mansur. Unlike his military peers, who focused exclusively on physical combat, he was a disciplined, rising young officer within the elite Fatiki Royal Bodyguard Regiment, mastering the brutal asymmetric warfare of the desert plains. But concurrently, Surur was a devout intellectual, spending his youth mastering the dense, complex architecture of Shafi'i Islamic jurisprudence. This unique dual identity gave Surur a rare, bulletproof legitimacy that no other warlord possessed. As Umara further observed, he was a man distinguished for his courage and intelligence, and for his knowledge of the religious law, according to the doctrines of the Imam ash-Shafi'i. Armed with Queen Alem's gold and his own military clout, Surur al-Amhari deployed his loyalist units into the labyrinthine streets of Zabid, swiftly crushing General Anis's barracks rebellion and executing the corrupt civilian dictator Wazir Man Allah. Yet, upon achieving absolute victory, Surur demonstrated his profound moral and institutional merits. He did not claim the crown for himself. Instead, out of deep institutional loyalty to the original line, he maintained the puppet monarchy, placing Queen Alem's young son, Sultan al-Fatik III, securely on the throne. To govern a deeply fractured capital, Surur did not rule through raw military terror. He anchored his executive regime within the legal and judicial administration of Zabid. Because he could debate the finest points of Islamic law just as skillfully as the city's top professors, the judges and religious scholars did not view him as an unlettered tyrant, but as a brother in faith. By guaranteeing the absolute independence of the civil courts from palace meddling, the African scholar general won the unyielding, foundational loyalty of the civilian elite. Umara directly observed his immense popularity, writing that Surur was a ruler who gained the affection of the people, of the ulema, and of the grandees. With Queen Alem and Grand Vizier Surur, the political fate of the older nobility was permanently sealed. Queen Sarafah, once the proud, dominant voice of the Arab aristocracy, found herself entirely sidelined by the meteoric rise of the Abyssinian court caste. Her instigations had failed to restore her personal lineage. Stranded in a palace that no longer answered to her name, she watched helplessly as her infant son, Fatik II, withered away into an early, suspicious grave, a historical footnote. Broken by the poisoning of her husband, the loss of her crown, and the quiet death of her child, Queen Sarafah passed away in absolute political exile, a tragic symbol of the old nobility consumed by the relentless palace machine.